Next one is this. Now, what did, there was a particular guy, I think he was an accountant, he would come into Cheers, and what did everybody say to him?
Norm!
Oh, do it again, come on.
Norm!
Norm! And what's the line from the song where everybody knows your name? The hardest thing to do today in marketing and branding is to be personal. The bigger you get, the more personal it gets, and pretty soon you go from being able to know all your customers' names to you put in an automated attendant and they've got to push 6 different numbers to be able to talk to a human being. But personalization, the ability to connect with someone on a human level, is an extraordinary differentiator. Think about the times as consumers where you were treated as a person, as a unique individual, and someone took a genuine interest in your story. I always thought with restaurants, they've got it backwards a little bit. When they come up and say, "Hi, my name's Todd, I'm your server today." If I was a server, I would walk up and say, "Hi, what are your names?" "My name's Todd." My name's not really Todd, but it was weird to use Justin, so I just went with it. But you get my point, is personalization. What is your story? Treating them like a human being. And I probably have used this quote in a speech before, but it's one of my favorite. Mother Teresa said, "I cannot love the masses, I can only love the individual, so I start with one." So what happens when you take that same philosophy and apply intense personalization to your customer experience? It does not matter what you're selling. It could be an online experience. I talked about Amazon earlier in the previous session. Amazon is an intensely personal experience because they know me better than my mom. My mom gets me horrible gifts compared to what Amazon recommends I should get. Because they know me. The other thing about intense personalization is it creates connectivity. And, you know, we're treated often as consumers and as employees, and we learn this in school, as they just sort of supposed to fit in and just kind of be part of the big giant pot of oatmeal. And when you're treated as an individual, that's memorable. And that's what happens. You go home and you tell everybody, you jump online and say, "Yeah, it was an amazing experience." And you know, there are really 3 elements, and again, I touched on this just briefly in the previous session. There are 3 elements that create presence in the marketplace, and this is where personalization fits in. And number 1 is the customer experience. A little tip that you can do is, and this is, you have to flex this depending on what kind of business model you're in, but have a little profile of each customer that you have. If you're in retail, have a competition in your business about who can remember the most names of customers when they come in. Make it part of it, make it a key performance indicator. The other thing, so that's experience. The second thing is engagement. Do what Genesis does. Get out in the community and shake some hands and kiss some babies. You know, we're all running for mayor of Uville. You got to get out there. You got to be seen. You got to be heard. That's engagement. And then the last element of this is awareness. Awareness is a very expensive thing to purchase, but it's relatively permanent when you earn it. And I go back to the bacon analogy. When you cook bacon, everybody smells it. And they come, and that's awareness. Bacon doesn't need a whole lot of work to create awareness. You just cook it. And so a lot of this really, folks, is about the idea about changing your thinking. Being willing to be yourself, being willing to go out and explain to people what truly makes you different in the marketplace, being real, being authentic, sticking to your guns, doing all the things that are necessary so that you don't fit it, you're not part of that big pot of oatmeal. Because you will get stuck doing what oatmeal does. Put stuff on it to try to make it taste better. Now, there are other areas that you can look at. You can look at intellectual property. You can look at the way products are delivered. But I'll tell you this. Pretty much any invention will eventually be commoditized. But the things that cannot be commoditized are experience and presentation and principles. They will be yours forever, as long as you consistently do them. So my message for you, and then I'm going to answer questions, is go get to work.